At Pasadena City College, there are over 33,000 students. It is the third largest community college in the nation. I get the opportunity to work with about 40 of those students that come consistently to the Ivy chapter. Here are some student testimonies and stories about their experience attending InterVarsity at PCC. This is Marisol.
Hi, my name is Marisol Cruz, and I am a Pasadena City College student, and I am transferring in the fall to Cal State Monterey Bay, and I'm pursuing a double major in collaborative health and human services and global studies. After graduating from high school, I decided that I wanted to continue my education by going to community college, and I went into community college just wanting to further my education, and I had no idea what I wanted to major in. I just thought that life was just about going to school, um, getting married, having a career, having kids. So that's all I thought about. I didn't really picture how God could possibly be a part of my life and how I could be transformed through that. So to me, I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't know God on a personal level. I had never even read the Bible. I did not know what the four Gospels were. And to me, life was kind of just pointless. Life was just about getting married, just having a career and kids, and the cycle would just repeat itself, maybe into like a reincarnation or something. But that's the way I just thought about life, just kind of pointless. And yeah. So I actually had a couple friends who I grew up with in high school that ended up going to Pasadena City College with me as well. They kept inviting me to InterVarsity, to Bible study. But before that, I had kind of like a small encounter with God before that. So in a way, they were like right there to kind of just give me that push to attend Bible study. So they would keep insisting on me attending, and that's how I was invited to university.
How did you meet Jesus?
How did I meet Jesus? Well, that's a really great question. Wow. I met him on a personal level through InterVarsity. InterVarsity has these conferences that they go to at Catalina Island twice a year, and these are retreats. So I got invited to the spring conference at Catalina, and right there, every spring conference they do Mark studies, which is they study the book of Mark. They really go super in depth with it, and we get to learn more about Jesus' ministry. And so through that, I went, since I had mentioned before, I had no knowledge whatsoever about the Bible. I had an idea, but not really. So by going to these Mark studies and by attending one and by reading it like personally, like myself, I got to see like who Jesus is, who he was and who he is now, and what he wants for me in my life. So I encountered him there at Catalina, like on a personal level, and it forever like completely changed my life and my outlook in life. Yeah.
When did you start being on leadership team?
Okay, so that was right after Catalina. So I wasn't a believer, or just wasn't a follower of Christ when going to Catalina. But afterwards, after that Mark study that I went to, that's when I kind of just, somehow in my heart, it was just stirred that I wanted to share like who Jesus was and how passionate I was about him and what he wants in my life for me. And because of that, like I was just so amazed and just so, I don't know, words just can't describe it. It's just amazing to know that God really loves me, that loves everyone. And because of that, I'm like, people need to know this. Like every single person like on campus needs to know this, and my family members too. So that's when I started kind of like evangelizing on my own, which I didn't even know it was called evangelism, but I just started sharing about God to my friends, to the students that I had met in classes. I just started doing it that a lot, and that's when one of the girls on leadership with InterVarsity at PCC just told me like, hey, you need to be on leadership. Like you have that desire to share who God is through his son. And that's when I decided, I'm like, I'm not sure exactly what leadership is. So I decided to check it out through this retreat that they were having. And that's where I got plugged in. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, I really want to do this. Like, I really want to be able to share to people who God is. And that's how I became a leader. So during that retreat that we ended up going to, a leadership retreat that I ended up getting invited to, that was still new, checking it out, and that's where I met Phil. He, at that time, was barely starting off his internship with InterVarsity at PCC. And with that, God has used him to completely transform my life. Not just that, but speak into me as well. Like every time Phil talks, I feel like it's God speaking to me. He really has invested so much in me. I've learned to just have a voice, to voice out my own opinions, my own thoughts. Because at first, stepping into leadership, I was kind of shy, and I still kind of am. But he's like helped me just give me a voice to that, like help me learn what it is to speak out and what it is to voice out my opinions to others. Not just that, but just like constant investing in me, who I am like as a woman of God, what God has created me to be. Not just that on a personal level, but also to others. Like by him investing in me, I've also, like by that example, I've also been able to invest in other people. I see how he loves his students. He genuinely loves them. He genuinely like takes his time for other people, and I just see that in that, like not just at PCC, but also at Glendale Community College. So because of that, there was just this one time where a couple of us decided to go to Glendale Community College. I'm representing the T-shirt right here, Glendale Community College. So it's still a new chapter, but a couple of us, myself, Phil, and two other students, decided to go there and plant an InterVarsity chapter so people can know the love of Jesus and have a community there for non-believers and believers, to help them grow more in their walk with God. And I've just seen so much transformation in people's lives at both campuses, and just the way that God has been using Phil at both campuses, it's just amazing. Many people, like I've seen it from the beginning to the end, how we planted, and we had like small groups coming, like small Bible studies where we had just a couple of people going, and then it's now we're on our second year, and now it's just been growing and growing. Now we have like 2 Bible studies, like around 25 people coming in almost every Tuesday, and now people are being raised up as leaders as well. So he's investing in those people. But Phil, words can't really, I can't like sum up all the words like who he is to me, but he's just been a great encourager, a great brother, a great friend, a great mentor. He's just amazing, and I'm just so happy that he is letting himself be used by God. And I honestly couldn't imagine anyone else doing it but him at both campuses. So I'm happy.